You know that moment when you walk into the kitchen, stop in the doorway, and your brain just blue screens. You're standing there like, wait, why did I come in here? You look at the fridge, the sink, the counter, nothing rings a bell. Maybe you've done this too. You walk into your bedroom, stare at the bed like it personally offended you, and after 3 awkward seconds you're like, what am I doing here? Did I come for my charger? My hoodie? My will to live? Or you grab your phone for something super important, and 10 seconds later you're scrolling, you've opened 3 apps, checked something totally random, and you still have no idea what you picked up your phone for. If that sounds a little too familiar, this video is definitely for you. So what's actually going on in your brain when that happens? Like, why can you remember walking into the room but not the one simple reason you went there in the first place? A lot of people secretly wonder, is my memory getting worse? Am I getting old? Is this a bad sign? And that little fear sits in the back of your mind every time you blank out like that. But before you freak yourself out, let me say this clearly on its own. This does not mean your brain is broken. You're not losing it, you're not suddenly less smart than everyone else. In fact, what you're about to see is that your brain might actually be doing something kind of smart behind the scenes. It just feels really annoying in the moment. Picture this, it's one of those days where your brain feels slightly unplugged. In the morning, you get up to grab your phone to check the time. You unlock it, a notification pops up, you open a message, maybe tap into Instagram for just a second, and 30 seconds later you're like, wait, what time is it? You literally forgot the one thing you picked up your phone for. Around noon, you head to the kitchen to get a glass of water. On the way, you think about an email, a bill you haven't paid, something weird your coworker said. You walk into the kitchen, open the fridge, and just stand there staring at the shelves like they're going to remind you of your purpose in life. By the afternoon, you're on your way out the door, patting your pockets, realizing your keys are still on the table inside. And you start thinking, why am I like this? My brain used to be sharper than this, right? Here's the cool part, psychologists actually have a name for this. It's called the doorway effect. Basically, when you walk through a doorway, your brain treats it like a scene change in a movie. New room, new environment, new information. So it quietly packs up whatever was happening in the last room and opens a fresh mental file for the new one. So when you're in the living room thinking, I'm gonna go to the kitchen and get some water, your brain is holding that little intention in a tab. But the second you cross that doorway, your brain goes, okay, new scene, focus on this room now, and sometimes it forgets to bring the tab with it. It's like your brain is Netflix. Every time you walk through a doorway, it starts a new episode, rolls the opening credits, and occasionally just kind of loses the plot from the last one. Now, let's talk about what your brain is actually doing in those moments. Your brain has something called working memory. Think of it as a tiny mental notepad. It can only hold a few things at once, usually around 4 to 7 little pieces of information. Not a giant hard drive, more like a small sticky note stuck to your forehead. So when you're in the living room thinking, okay, I'm going to the kitchen to get some water, that plan sits on your mental notepad. Your brain is holding the context. I'm here, and I'm about to go there to do this one thing. But when you walk through the doorway, your brain quietly labels it new context. New stuff to pay attention to. It starts scanning the new room, the light, the objects, maybe another person, maybe a sound. And because that notepad is so small, the little get water note can just slide off. Picture your brain as a screen covered in sticky notes. Each new room, each new worry, each new thought adds another sticky. And when you cross into a new space, a couple of those notes fall to the floor, including, sadly, the one that said, hey, you came here for a reason. To really get why your brain does this, you have to zoom way out. We didn't evolve in apartments. We evolved in the wild. Your brain wasn't originally designed for living room, right arrow kitchen, right arrow, grab a cute glass. Back then, every time you stepped into a new space, it could mean new danger or new opportunity. New predators, new cliffs, new strangers, or new food, new shelter. So your brain learned a simple rule: new environment equals pay close attention. So when you walk through a doorway today, that ancient system still kicks in. Your brain goes, new context, hold up. What's around me? Any threats? Anything important? It starts scanning the room even if it's just your perfectly boring kitchen and the tiny plan, get water, gets bumped to the side. So your brain isn't being dumb. It's being overprotective and efficient, just not in a way that feels very helpful in a modern kitchen. Now, there are a few things that can make this whole "why am I in this room?" problem way worse. First, stress and anxiety. When you're stressed, your working memory is already stuffed with worries, what ifs, and mini panic scripts. That tiny thought, "I'm going to the kitchen for water," gets pushed right off the edge. Then there's lack of sleep. When your brain is tired, it's slower at holding and updating information. Little intentions slip through the cracks so much easier. Multitasking is another big one. You're walking to the kitchen, but in your head you're answering texts, thinking about a deadline, replaying an argument from yesterday. No wonder your original mission disappears. And yes, age plays a role too, not because you're suddenly broken, but because you notice these slips more. On its own, this kind of forgetfulness is not enough to say anything is medically wrong. Finally, new or busy environments, a new house, a crowded room, guests over, give your brain even more to process, so that tiny "why I came here" thought is the first thing to go. Let's clear up a couple of really common fears. Myth number 1, if I keep forgetting why I walk into rooms, I must have Alzheimer's. No. The doorway effect by itself is not a sign that you're developing dementia. Forgetting why you went into the kitchen is extremely common, and, on its own, it doesn't tell doctors anything specific. Myth number 2, I'm just dumber than everyone else. Also no, this happens to young people, old people, straight-A students, busy parents, even scientists who study memory for a living. Your brain doing this doesn't mean you're stupid. Now, if you're also noticing bigger, more worrying things like forgetting close family members' names, getting lost in familiar places, or struggling to do tasks you've done your whole life, that's when it's smart to talk to a doctor. But that's a different story than just, "Why did I come into this room again?" Alright, so what can you actually do about this? Let me give you a few simple tricks you can try today. First one, say it out loud before you leave the room. Literally, kitchen, get water, or bedroom, grab my charger. It feels silly, but saying it anchors the intention in your brain. Second, attach your plan to something physical. Grab the empty glass as you walk, hold your car keys, touch the pill bottle. Your brain remembers better when your body is involved. Third, take a quick mental snapshot. Before you stand up, picture yourself in the kitchen, pouring the water and drinking it. Your brain loves images. Fourth, for just 5 seconds, don't multitask. Tell yourself, "I'm going to the kitchen to get my water." That's it. No extra thinking, no side quests. And if you still forget, just walk back to the original room. Half the time, as soon as you step back into the old scene, the memory pops right back up like, "Oh yeah, that's what I was doing." Here's how I want you to see it from now on: a tip of the tongue moment, or a doorway moment, isn't proof that your brain is empty. It's actually proof that your life is full. It means your mind is juggling stories, people you care about, worries, plans, dreams, random memories, and every now and then it drops the tiny little ball that says, "I came here for water." So next time you walk into a room and totally forget why you're there, instead of beating yourself up, just smile and think, "Okay, brain, get it." So now I'm curious, what's the funniest thing you've ever forgotten halfway through doing it? Tell me in the comments. I want to read these. And if this video made you feel a little less crazy about your brain, share it with that one person who always forgets why they walked into a room. The next time you walk through a doorway and your mind goes completely blank, remember, your brain is just turning the page to the next chapter.